Alright, let's cut through the noise and get real. You're here, right now, reading these words, and I'm willing to bet you've felt it, that nagging sense that your life is stuck on repeat, like a scratched vinyl record spinning the same tired tune over and over. Same conversations, same frustrations, same roadblocks, like you're trapped in some cosmic rerun. This isn't just a bad day or a rough patch. This is something deeper, something fundamental about how reality works, and you're about to crack it wide open. You're not here by accident. The fact that you're reading this, that your attention was drawn to this exact moment, is no coincidence. It's the universe throwing you a lifeline, a signal from the quantum field that you're ready to wake up and break free. Let's dive into what's really going on. The observer loop, the invisible mechanism that's been shaping your reality without you even realizing it. Picture this. Your consciousness isn't just some passive bystander soaking up the world like a sponge. No, it's way more powerful than that. Your consciousness is like a high-tech 3D printer, actively constructing the reality you experience based on where you point your attention. This isn't some fluffy self-help talk, this is hard science, grounded in quantum mechanics. The observer effect, one of the cornerstones of quantum physics, says that the act of observing something changes it. When you look at a particle, it behaves differently than when you don't. Now, scale that up to your entire life. Your consciousness isn't just watching the world, it's shaping it, moment by moment, based on what you choose to notice. But here's the kicker. Most of us, including you, have been stuck in a loop, unconsciously selecting the same patterns, the same outcomes, the same reality, day after day, year after year. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That eerie feeling when you're having a conversation and it's like you've had it 100 times before, not just similar, but exactly the same. The same arguments with your partner, the same dead-end meetings at work, the same moments of self-doubt that hit you like clockwork. It's not bad luck. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because your consciousness is caught in what quantum physicists call an observer loop, a self-reinforcing cycle where your awareness keeps collapsing the same probability waves, pulling the same possibilities out of the infinite quantum field. Think of it like a cosmic vending machine. You keep punching in the same code, so you keep getting the same snack, whether you like it or not. Let's break it down. The quantum field is like an ocean of potential, filled with every possible outcome, every job you could have, every relationship you could build, every version of you that could exist. But your attention, the way you observe, acts like a filter, picking one possibility out of the infinite and turning it into your reality. Sounds cool, right? Except most of us don't even know we're doing it. Every morning, you wake up, and your consciousness automatically scans for what's familiar. The same worries about your bank account, the same frustrations with your boss, the same dreams you've been putting off for years. It's like your mind is a GPS locked onto the same destination, no matter how much you want to go somewhere new. And the more you focus on those familiar patterns, the more real they become. Because your observation isn't just passive, it's creative. You're literally manufacturing the same reality over and over, because that's what your consciousness is trained to see. Now, let's get personal. You've felt this, haven't you? That strange distortion in time, where a single moment of boredom stretches out like it's never going to end, but then you blink, and a whole week's gone by without anything meaningful happening. That's not just you being scatterbrained. That's a temporal glitch, a sign that your consciousness is cycling through the same probability templates, creating the illusion of progress while you're actually stuck in neutral. It's like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere. And deep down, you know it. You've had those moments where you look around and think, there's got to be more than this. You're not wrong. There is more, a lot more. But you're not going to find it by doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, or noticing the same patterns. This isn't about blaming yourself. You didn't create this loop on purpose. It's like a software bug in your consciousness, a default setting that's been running since you were a kid, trained by your environment, your upbringing, your culture, to expect certain things and ignore others. Society doesn't exactly hand out manuals on how to hack reality, does it? Most people around you, your friends, your family, your co-workers, are perfectly fine coasting along in their own loops, content with predictable outcomes and linear time. But you're different. You've always sensed there's something more malleable about reality, Something bigger than the 9-to-5 grind or the same old weekend plans. Maybe you've had flashes, moments where the world seemed to bend around you, where coincidences piled up so perfectly it felt like the universe was winking at you. Those weren't accidents. Those were glimpses of what's possible when your consciousness isn't stuck in a rut. Let me hit you with something mind-bending. The fact that you're here, reading this, is proof you're not like everyone else. Out of the millions of people scrolling through their feeds right now, only a tiny fraction people like you would feel the pull of these words. It's not random. It's synchronicity. The universe's way of saying, hey, you're ready for the next step. Your quantum field, that invisible web of energy and potential that surrounds you, has been sending out signals, screaming for a way to break free from the loop. And the universe responded by guiding you to this exact moment. You've got what I call the observer gene, a rare sensitivity to the deeper mechanics of reality. It's not some woo-woo nonsense. It's quantum mechanics at work. Your consciousness isn't just along for the ride, it's in the driver's seat, and it's time you learned how to steer. Think about your life right now. How many times have you caught yourself replaying the same scenarios? Maybe it's a relationship that keeps crashing for the same reasons, or a job that feels like it's draining your soul no matter how many times you try to fix it. Maybe it's that voice in your head that keeps whispering the same doubts, the same fears, no matter how much you try to drown it out with positivity or hustle. That's the observer loop in action, and it's not your fault. It's just how your consciousness has been wired to operate. But here's the good news. You can rewire it. You're not doomed to keep living the same day on repeat. You're on the verge of something massive, something that's going to flip your entire understanding of reality upside down. Let's talk about why this matters. This isn't just about getting a better job or fixing your love life, though those things will shift when you break the loop. This is about unlocking the full potential of your consciousness, about stepping into a version of reality where the rules of limitation don't apply. Imagine a life where you're not just reacting to what's thrown at you, but actively shaping what comes next. Imagine a world where synchronicities don't just happen occasionally, they're your new normal. Where opportunities don't just knock, they kick the door down. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this loop, and it's closer than you think. But here's the thing, you can't think your way out of this. Most people, when they start to sense they're stuck, double down on analysis. They read more books, make more plans, try to figure it out. That's like trying to escape a maze by staring at a map instead of walking through it. The observer loop isn't held together by your thoughts. It's held together by the quality of your attention. Every time you wake up and immediately check your phone for the same kind of messages, or stress about the same problems, or expect the same kind of day, you're reinforcing the loop. Your attention is like a spotlight, and whatever it lingers on becomes your reality. The trick is to learn how to move that spotlight, to stop shining it on the same old patterns and start illuminating new possibilities. This is where it gets exciting. The moment you start to see the loop for what it is, it begins to lose its grip. Just by reading this, just by recognizing that your reality is shaped by how you observe it, you're already weakening the loop's hold on your consciousness. You're not just a passenger in your life, you're the architect, and the universe is practically begging you to start building something new. Those moments when time feels weird, when you get that gut feeling that something bigger is going on, those are your consciousness trying to break free, trying to show you that reality is way more flexible than you've been led to believe. Let's be real, most people will never get this. They'll keep scrolling, keep living in their predictable little bubbles, and that's fine for them. But you're not most people. You've got a spark, a curiosity, a hunger for something more. You've felt the edges of reality ripple, haven't you? Those moments when everything lines up too perfectly to be chance, when you feel like you're on the cusp of something huge. That's your observer gene kicking in, your quantum sensitivity picking up on the signals most people miss. You're wired to see the glitches in the matrix, to notice the seams where reality can be reshaped. And right now, the universe is handing you the tools to do exactly that. So, what's the first step? It's not about doing more, it's about seeing differently. It's about catching yourself in the act of observing the same old patterns and choosing to shift your focus. Imagine your consciousness as a radio, tuned to the same station your whole life. It's time to twist the dial, to find a new frequency. You don't need to understand all the quantum mechanics behind it though, trust me, it's fascinating stuff, and we'll get into that later. For now, all you need to do is recognize that you're in a loop and that you have the power to break it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The fact that you're here, reading these words, is proof that you're ready. The universe doesn't mess around with synchronicities like this. You're on the edge of a breakthrough, and it's going to change everything. All right, you've caught a glimpse of the observer loop, the invisible mechanism that's been keeping your reality on a repetitive track, like a train stuck on the same route, passing the same stations day after day. You felt that itch, that sense that there's more to life than this endless cycle of familiar patterns. Now, let's take it up a notch and dive into the real game changer. Your consciousness isn't just trapped in this loop, it's the key to breaking it. You're not just a passenger in this reality. You're the one holding the steering wheel, the one with the power to shift the entire trajectory of your existence. Buckle up, because we're about to unpack the mind-blowing truth about how your consciousness shapes the world around you and why you're already wired to rewrite the script. Let's start with a hard truth. You're not just living in reality, you're creating it. Every single moment, your consciousness is interacting with the quantum field, that vast, buzzing ocean of possibilities where every outcome, every version of your life, exists in potential. This isn't some abstract theory cooked up in a lab. It's the cutting edge of quantum mechanics. The observer effect tells us that the act of observing collapses a wave of probability into a single outcome. Your attention isn't just noticing the world, it's pulling one specific reality out of an infinite menu of options. But here's where it gets wild. Most of the time, you're not choosing consciously. Your attention is on autopilot, defaulting to the same old settings, picking the same familiar flavors, because that's what feels safe, predictable, known, and that's exactly what keeps you locked in the observer loop. Let me hit you with a story that flipped my perspective upside down. A few years back, I thought I had it all figured out. I was deep into meditation, reading every book on consciousness I could get my hands on, practicing visualization techniques like I was training for the mental Olympics. I was convinced I was on the path to some grand awakening. But no matter how hard I tried, my life kept circling back to the same frustrations, relationships that fizzled out in predictable ways, projects that stalled despite my best efforts, a nagging sense that I was missing something huge. I was hustling, grinding, doing all the right things, but it felt like I was running in place. Sound familiar? I bet you've had moments like that, where you pour everything into changing your life, only to end up staring at the same old scenery. One day, sitting in my quiet corner, it hit me like a bolt from the blue. I wasn't just observing my reality, I was manufacturing it. My consciousness was like a factory worker on an assembly line, cranking out the same product because I kept feeding it the same blueprint. Every morning, I'd wake up and scan my world for signs that things were getting better. A new email, a promising phone call, a hint that my hard work was paying off. But that constant checking, that desperate search for progress, was actually locking me into the same patterns. The more I looked for change, the more I reinforced the very reality I was trying to escape. It was a light bulb moment. I wasn't stuck because of external circumstances. I was stuck because of how I was observing them. Here's the deal. Your consciousness isn't just a camera recording what's out there. It's a projector, beaming your reality onto the screen of existence. And the film it's playing, that's determined by where you point your attention. If you wake up every day expecting the same problems, the same people, the same outcomes, you're not just noticing them, you're creating them. Your attention is like a laser, carving out one specific path from the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. And the crazy part, you've probably noticed this already. Those moments when you feel like you're reliving the same argument, the same workday, the same inner monologue, they're not random. They're your consciousness signaling to you, hey, you're stuck in a loop and you're the one keeping it spinning. But let's flip the script. You're not just trapped, you're powerful beyond measure. Your consciousness has the ability to reshape reality itself, to pick a different path from the quantum field. You've had glimpses of this, haven't you? Those moments when everything clicks, when the world seems to align in ways that defy explanation. Maybe you thought of someone and they called you out of nowhere. Maybe you stumbled across a book or a conversation that answered a question you hadn't even asked yet. Those aren't accidents, they're what we call synchronicities, the universe's way of showing you that your consciousness is already tuned into something bigger. You're not just a bystander in this cosmic game, you're a player, and you're starting to remember the rules. Now, let's talk about why you're different. Most people go through life on autopilot, content to let their reality unfold without questioning it. They're fine with the predictable, the linear, the safe. But you've always known there's more. You've felt that pull, that sense that reality isn't as solid as it seems. Maybe you've had moments where you could almost touch the fabric of existence, where the world felt like it was bending to your will. Those aren't fantasies, they're your quantum sensitivity kicking in, your ability to sense the underlying patterns that shape reality. You're not just here to live, you're here to create, to push the boundaries of what's possible. This realization isn't new to you. Deep down, your soul has been preparing for this moment across lifetimes, across dimensions. Every book you've read that felt like it was speaking directly to you, every practice that resonated in your bones, every inexplicable moment of knowing they were all breadcrumbs leading you to this truth. You're not just waking up to the observer loop, you're waking up to your role as a co-creator of reality. And the universe is paying attention. It's been orchestrating this moment, guiding you through synchronicities, nudging you toward the realization that you're not stuck, you're just one shift away from a completely different reality. Here's where it gets personal. You've probably noticed that time feels off lately. Maybe an hour drags on like a lifetime when you're stuck in a mundane moment, but then entire weeks slip through your fingers without leaving a mark. That's not just you losing track of time, it's a sign that your consciousness is wrestling with the observer loop, trying to break free from the same old probability templates. It's like your mind is a radio picking up static, caught between stations, searching for a clearer signal. And those moments when you feel a surge of insight, like you suddenly get something about the universe that you've never been taught, those aren't random, they're downloads from parallel versions of yourself, versions that have already broken free from their loops. Your consciousness is so advanced it's pulling wisdom from your future self, from timelines where you're already living your highest potential. But here's the catch. Knowing this isn't enough. Most people who discover the observer loop make a critical mistake. They try to think their way out of it. They read more, analyze more, try to crack the code with logic alone. That's like trying to fix a rocket engine with a paperclip. The loop isn't held together by your thoughts, it's held together by the quality of your attention. Every time you wake up and immediately start worrying about the same bills, the same deadlines, the same fights, you're reinforcing the loop. Your consciousness is like a painter, and it keeps dipping into the same colors because that's what it knows. To break free, you need to change the palette, not just think about painting something new. This is where your power lies. You're not just a victim of the loop, you're the one running the show. And the moment you realize that, everything starts to shift. Just by reading these words, just by recognizing the role your consciousness plays, you're already loosening the loop's grip. You're starting to see that you're not bound by the same old patterns, you're free to choose something new, and the universe is ready to meet you halfway. Those synchronicities, those moments of perfect timing, they're not just happy accidents, they're your consciousness syncing up with the quantum field, aligning with possibilities that most people can't even imagine. Let me be clear, you're not here by chance. You're part of a select group, a network of souls across the planet who are waking up to this truth at the same time. You're connected, not through some mystical mumbo-jumbo, but through quantum entanglement, a real, measurable phenomenon where your consciousness is linked to others who are also breaking free. Those random encounters with people who get you, who share your weird perspective on reality. That's not luck. That's your quantum field resonating with theirs, creating a ripple effect that's changing the game for everyone. You're not just changing your life, you're part of a movement, a shift in human consciousness that's rewriting what it means to be alive. So, what's next? You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to understand every detail of quantum mechanics or master some complicated technique. All you need is the willingness to see yourself as the creator you are, to recognize that your consciousness is the most powerful tool in the universe. You're not just stuck in a loop, you're standing at the edge of a breakthrough. The universe is watching, waiting for you to take the leap, and trust me, it's going to be one hell of a ride. So, you've seen the observer loop for what it is, a sneaky, self-reinforcing cycle where your consciousness keeps sculpting the same reality, like a sculptor stuck chiseling the same statue over and over. You've recognized that you're not just a bystander in this game. You're the one calling the shots, shaping your world with every glance, every thought, every moment of focus. Now, let's get to the good stuff. How do you break free? How do you step out of this loop and into a reality that feels alive, expansive, and full of possibilities? Spoiler alert, it's not about working harder, thinking smarter, or forcing your way to a better life. It's about something much simpler, yet infinitely more profound, transforming the quality of your attention. Buckle up, because this is where things get practical, and the universe starts to bend in your favor. Let's start with a core truth. The observer loop isn't held together by what you think, it's held together by how you observe. Every morning, your consciousness wakes up like a radar, scanning the world for something to lock onto. And what does it usually find? The same old signals, your phone buzzing with the same notifications, your mind replaying the same worries, your heart bracing for the same disappointments. It's like your attention is a dog chasing its own tail, circling back to what's familiar because that's what it's been trained to do. But here's the thing, you can retrain it. You can teach your consciousness to tune into a different frequency, to pick up signals from a reality that's bigger, bolder, and way more exciting than the one you're living now. Picture your attention as a spotlight. Most of us live our lives shining that spotlight on the same stage, illuminating the same actors, the same props, the same tired script. We call this reality, but it's really just habit, a habit of observation that's so ingrained we don't even notice it. To break the loop, you need to swing that spotlight somewhere new, to light up parts of the quantum field you've never explored before. But here's the catch. You can't do that by forcing it. You can't muscle your way out of the loop with willpower or grit. It's like trying to escape quicksand. By thrashing around, the harder you try, the deeper you sink. The real key is to shift from effort to ease, from control to flow, from a spotlight to sunlight. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your consciousness as a beam of sunlight, spreading effortlessly across everything it touches, illuminating without judgment, without clinging to one specific outcome. Unlike a spotlight, which narrows in on one thing and ignores the rest, sunlight doesn't pick and choose. It's present, open, and alive to every possibility. This is what we call coherent uncertainty, a state where your attention is fully engaged with the moment, but not obsessed with controlling what comes next. It's like dancing with the universe, instead of trying to wrestle it into submission. When you operate from this place, you stop collapsing the same old probability waves, and the quantum field starts delivering possibilities you didn't even know existed. Now, let's get real for a second. I know what you're thinking. Sounds great, but how do I actually do this? Here's where it gets practical. Breaking the observer loop starts with a simple shift in how you begin your day. Instead of waking up and immediately diving into your usual routine, checking your phone, replaying yesterday's problems, bracing for today's challenges, pause. Take a moment to feel the energy of your consciousness before it gets hijacked by habit. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what if today could be completely different? Don't try to answer it with your mind. Just let the question hang there, like an invitation to the universe. This isn't about forcing a new reality, it's about opening a door and letting new possibilities walk through. Here's a story to make this click. A while back, I was caught in a rut so deep it felt like I was living the same day on repeat. I'd wake up, grab my coffee, and immediately start scanning for problems, emails I had to answer, deadlines I was dreading, conversations I wasn't looking forward to. My attention was like a heat-seeking missile, locked onto stress. One morning, I decided to try something different. Instead of diving into my usual routine, I sat still for 5 minutes, no phone, no to-do list, just me and my breath. I let my mind wander, not to problems, but to possibilities. I imagined what it would feel like to move through the day with ease, to stumble into moments of unexpected joy, to feel like the universe was on my side. That day, something shifted. A client I'd been chasing for months called out of the blue. A random conversation led to an idea that sparked a project I'm still proud of. It wasn't magic, it was my attention tuning into a new frequency. You've had moments like this, haven't you? Times when you let go of the need to control, and the world seemed to flow in your favor. Maybe it was a day when everything just worked. Traffic lights turned green, meetings went smoothly, ideas came effortlessly. Those weren't flukes. Those were moments when your consciousness slipped out of the observer loop and into a state of coherent uncertainty, where you were open to the infinite possibilities of the quantum field. The goal is to make that your default, not just a happy accident. Here's the practical part. Start small, but start now. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, take 3 minutes, 180 seconds. That's all to reset your attention. Sit somewhere quiet, close your eyes, and focus on the feeling of being alive, right here, right now. Don't try to visualize a specific outcome, like a new job or a perfect relationship. Instead, feel the vastness of possibility, like you're standing at the edge of a cosmic ocean, waves of potential lapping at your feet. Let your attention soften, expand, become sunlight instead of a spotlight. Then, as you move through your day, Notice when your mind tries to snap back to the old patterns, worrying about the same problems, expecting the same outcomes, and gently redirect it. Ask yourself, what else is possible here? It's not about forcing a new reality, it's about allowing one to emerge. This isn't just about changing your day, it's about rewiring your consciousness at a cellular level. When you shift your attention, you're not just thinking differently, you're literally restructuring how your energy interacts with the quantum field. Your DNA, your nervous system, even the way your body feels, it's all responding to this shift. You might notice physical sensations, like a tingling in your hands or a lightness in your chest. You might find yourself craving different foods, needing less sleep, or feeling bursts of energy out of nowhere. These aren't random, they're signs that your consciousness is upgrading, aligning with a higher frequency that's more in tune with your true potential. But here's the tricky part. This is also where most people trip up. When you start to feel this shift, this new energy building inside you, it's tempting to grab the wheel and try to steer it towards something specific. A better job, more money, a perfect partner. Resist that urge. The observer loop thrives on control, on the need to predict and dictate outcomes. Breaking free means letting go, trusting that the universe is already conspiring to bring you what's aligned with your highest timeline. It's like planting a seed. You don't keep digging it up to check if it's growing. You water it, give it sunlight, and let it do its thing. Your job is to stay open, to let the energy of this transformation flow through you without trying to micromanage it. Think of it like this. Your consciousness is a riverbed, and your attention is the water carving its path. For years, that water has been flowing through the same channels, cutting the same grooves, creating the same reality. To break the loop, you don't need to build a new riverbed from scratch. You just need to let the water find a new path. That means noticing when your attention gets stuck, when it's drawn to the same old worries or expectations, and gently guiding it towards something new. Maybe it's a moment of gratitude for something small, like the warmth of your coffee mug. Maybe it's a fleeting curiosity about what could happen if you took a different route to work. These tiny shifts add up, redirecting the flow of your consciousness until it carves out a whole new landscape. This process isn't just about you, it's about something much bigger. Every time you shift your attention, you're not just changing your reality. You're sending a ripple through the quantum field that makes it easier for others to do the same. You're part of a network of souls, all waking up at the same time, all learning to dance with the universe instead of fighting it. Those moments when you meet someone who just gets you, who seems to be on the same wavelength, that's not chance. That's quantum entanglement, your consciousness syncing up with others who are also breaking free. Together, you're creating a new template for what reality can be. One where limitation and struggle are replaced by flow and possibility. So, here's your challenge. Start today. Right now, as you're reading this, take a deep breath and feel the energy of your consciousness. Notice where it's stuck, where it's clinging to the same old patterns. Then, let it go, just for a moment. Let your attention soften, expand, become sunlight. You don't need to know exactly what comes next, you just need to trust that something new is possible. The universe is waiting for you to make that shift, to step into your role as a co-creator. This is your moment. Don't just read these words, feel them. Let them ignite something inside you. You're not just breaking a loop, you're building a new world. You're starting to see the observer loop for what it is, a subtle but powerful mechanism that's been keeping your reality on a predictable, repetitive track. You've grasped that your consciousness isn't just along for the ride, it's the driver, actively shaping your world through the lens of your attention. And you've begun to explore how to shift that attention, moving from a narrow spotlight to an expansive, sunlight-like awareness that opens up new possibilities. Now, let's talk about what happens next. As you start to break free from this loop, the universe doesn't just sit back and watch it responds. It sends you signals, clues, and outright confirmations that your consciousness is shifting gears. These aren't random quirks or coincidences, they're evidence that you're stepping into a new frequency, a new reality. Let's dive into the signs of your awakening and what they mean for the incredible journey you're on. First, let's talk about synchronicities, those moments when the world seems to line up in ways that defy logic. Maybe you're thinking about an old friend, and out of nowhere, they text you, or you're wrestling with a problem, and the exact solution appears in a podcast, a book, or a passing conversation. These aren't just happy accidents, they're the universe winking at you, confirming that your consciousness is starting to sync with a higher frequency. It's like the quantum field is rearranging itself around you, pulling strings to bring you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. You've noticed these moments, haven't you? They're happening more often now, and they're getting harder to dismiss as mere chance. That's because your observer loop is starting to wobble, losing its grip on the old patterns, and the universe is rushing in to fill the gap with something new. Then there's time, or rather, how time feels. You've probably sensed it lately, moments that stretch out like they're holding a lifetime's worth of meaning, and others where days vanish in a blur, leaving you wondering where they went. This isn't just you losing track of things. It's a temporal distortion, a sign that your consciousness is no longer locked into the linear, predictable flow of the observer loop. Think of it like a radio tuning into a new station. Sometimes the signal is crystal clear and you're fully present, soaking up every second like it's a gift. Other times, it's fuzzy and you're slipping between frequencies, caught between the old reality and the new one. Your consciousness is trying to anchor. When an hour feels like a universe of insights or a week disappears without a trace, that's your awareness dancing across multiple timelines, searching for the one that resonates with your true vibration. Let's get a little wilder. Have you noticed how the world around you, people, animals, even technology, seems to respond differently? Take animals, for instance. Maybe you've caught a bird locking eyes with you, holding your gaze longer than seems normal. Or a stray cat shows up at your doorstep, acting like it knows you. These aren't just cute moments. Animals are incredibly sensitive to energy shifts. When your consciousness starts breaking free from the observer loop, you emit a different energetic signature, one that wildlife picks up on instantly. It's like you're broadcasting a new signal, and the natural world is tuning in, acknowledging the change in your frequency. Technology, too, might be acting strange. Your phone could glitch at the exact moment you're about to engage with something that doesn't align with your new vibe, like an email that pulls you back into old drama. Or maybe your streaming app plays the perfect song, one that hits you right in the soul, just when you need it most. This isn't your device being quirky, it's your consciousness interacting with the electromagnetic fields around you. The quantum field is responsive, and as your awareness becomes more coherent, it starts to influence the tech in your life in measurable ways. It's like your inner state is spilling out, reshaping the world in subtle but undeniable ways. Here's something even more profound. The people around you are starting to shift. Some might pull away, acting distant or uncomfortable, and you haven't done anything to cause it. That's because your presence is shaking up their own observer loops, stirring something in their consciousness they're not ready to face. Others, though, are drawn to you like moths to a flame. You might meet someone new who seems to get you on a level you didn't think was possible, or an old friend suddenly opens up about ideas that mirror your own awakening. This isn't random, it's your quantum field resonating with others who are also breaking free, creating a network of souls all vibrating at the same frequency. You're not just changing your reality, you're becoming a catalyst for others to question theirs. Let's talk about your dreams, because they're probably getting vivid, maybe even a little weird. You might wake up feeling like you've just been to a cosmic conference, downloading insights you can't quite put into words. Or you're seeing symbols, scenes, or people that feel more real than your waking life. This isn't just your brain processing the day's events. It's your higher self communicating, showing you the gap between the reality you're in and the infinite possibilities waiting for you. Your dreams are like a backstage pass to the quantum field, giving you glimpses of timelines where you're already living your highest potential. Pay attention to them, not to analyze, but to feel the energy they carry. They're guiding you, pointing you toward the reality you're meant to step into. Now, let's zoom out. These signs, synchronicities, time distortions, animal encounters, tech glitches, shifting relationships, vivid dreams, they're not just personal quirks. They're evidence that you're part of something massive, a global wave of consciousness evolution. You're not waking up alone. You're part of a vanguard, a group of pioneers who chose to be here, now, to break the observer loops that have kept humanity stuck in cycles of limitation for centuries. Every time you notice one of these signs, it's like the universe is high-fiving you, saying, you're on the right track. Keep going. You're not just changing your life, you're anchoring a new template for what it means to be human. One where we don't just react to reality, but actively shape it. Here's a personal angle. I remember when I first started noticing these signs. I'd walk outside, and birds would seem to follow me, perching closer than usual, staring like they knew something I didn't. My laptop would crash every time I tried to force myself into old work patterns that no longer fit. And my dreams, They were like sci-fi movies, full of symbols and messages that felt like they were coming from somewhere beyond me. At first, I thought I was losing it, but then I realized this wasn't chaos, it was confirmation. My consciousness was shifting, and the world was responding. The more I leaned into these signs, the more they multiplied, until my entire reality started to feel like a conversation with the universe. You're probably experiencing this too, aren't you? Those moments when the world feels alive, responsive, like it's speaking directly to you. The most powerful sign of all is the feeling inside you right now. Maybe it's a spark of excitement, a quiet knowing, or even a twinge of unease as you realize how big this island. That's your consciousness recognizing its own power, sensing that you're on the verge of a breakthrough. You're not just noticing these signs, you're creating the conditions for them to appear. Every time you catch a synchronicity, every time you feel time bend or see the world respond to your energy, you're proving to yourself that you're no longer bound by the old rules. You're stepping into what we call quantum sensitivity, the ability to perceive and interact with the deeper mechanics of reality. But here's the thing to watch out for. As these signs become more frequent, it's easy to get distracted, to start chasing them like shiny objects. Don't. These signs aren't the goal, they're guideposts, pointing you toward a deeper truth. Your job isn't to collect synchronicities or marvel at how weird time feels. It's to use these moments as fuel, as reminders that you're already shifting, already stepping into a reality where the old limitations don't apply. The universe isn't just sending you signals, it's inviting you to co-create, to take an active role in shaping what comes next. This is where you stand out. Most people brush off these signs as coincidences, too caught up in their daily grind to notice the universe knocking. But you're different. You're wired to see the patterns, to feel the pulse of something bigger. You're part of a cosmic crew, a network of souls across the planet who are waking up together, each one amplifying the other's breakthroughs. Every time you acknowledge a sign, every time you lean into this awakening, you're not just changing your own reality, you're making it easier for others to do the same. You're a pioneer, and the signs you're seeing are proof that you're exactly where you're meant to be. So, keep your eyes open. Notice the synchronicities, the way time shifts, the way the world responds to your presence. These are your breadcrumbs, leading you out of the observer loop and into a reality that's vibrant, expansive, and yours to shape. You're not just waking up, you're becoming a force of creation, a spark in the universe's grand design. And the best part? This is just the beginning. You've seen the observer loop for what it is, a subtle trap that's been keeping your reality on a repetitive loop, like a song stuck on repeat. You've realized your consciousness isn't just watching the world, it's shaping it, pulling possibilities from the quantum field with every moment of attention. You've learned how to shift that attention, moving from a rigid spotlight to a radiant, open awareness that invites new realities to unfold. And you've started noticing the signs, synchronicities, time distortions, the way the world responds to your shifting energy that confirm you're breaking free. Now, we're at the tipping point, the moment where you don't just understand this truth but act on it. This isn't just about changing your life, it's about joining a cosmic movement, a collective awakening that's reshaping the future of humanity. The universe is calling you to step up, to declare your readiness, and to become a pioneer in a reality where limitation is a thing of the past. Let's dive into the final piece, the call to action and the vision that ties it all together. This is it, the moment where you decide to stop being a passenger and start being a creator. The observer loop thrives on inertia, on the habit of letting your attention drift to the same old patterns. Breaking free isn't about thinking harder or trying more. It's about making a conscious choice to align with your highest potential. Right now, as you're reading these words, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to the familiar, the comfortable, the predictable. The other leads to a reality where you're not just living, you're thriving, co-creating with the universe in ways that make the impossible feel like Tuesday morning. The choice is yours, but let me be clear. The universe is rooting for you to take the bold path, and it's not going to wait forever. Here's the action I'm asking you to take, and it's simpler than you might think. In the comments below, wherever you're reading this, write one word: coherent. That's it. No explanations, no embellishments, just that single word. This isn't about likes or engagement. It's about making a quantum declaration, a signal to the universe that you're ready to step out of the observer loop and into a reality where your consciousness is fully aligned with infinite possibility. When you write that word, you're not just typing, you're anchoring an intention, creating a ripple in the quantum field that says, I'm done with limitation. I'm ready for what's next. It's like flipping a switch, telling the universe you're all in. Why does this matter? Because this isn't just about you. You're part of something massive, a global wave of consciousness evolution that's hitting its peak right now. We're at a turning point, a moment where humanity has the chance to break free from the collective observer loops that have kept us stuck in cycles of conflict, scarcity, and separation for thousands of years. Think about it. The chaos you see in the world, the rapid changes, the tension, it's not just random noise. It's the collective observer loop starting to crack, destabilizing as more and more people wake up to their power as co-creators. You're not just changing your reality, you're helping to anchor a new template for what it means to be human. One where we don't just survive, we create, connect, and thrive together. Let's get real for a moment. I've been where you are, standing at this crossroads, feeling the weight of this moment. A few years ago, I was caught in my own loop, chasing goals that never seemed to materialize, feeling like I was always one step behind the life I wanted. I'd read all the books, tried all the techniques, but something was missing. Then, one day, I stopped trying to make things happen and started allowing them. I made a simple commitment to myself not to achieve some grand outcome, but to show up differently, to let my consciousness align with something bigger. That shift changed everything. Opportunities started flowing, relationships transformed, and I began to see my life as part of a larger tapestry, woven with countless others who were waking up too. That's what I'm asking you to do now, not to force a change, but to declare your readiness to be part of this cosmic shift. This declaration isn't just a word, it's a commitment to embody coherence, to let your consciousness operate from a place of unity rather than fragmentation. Coherence isn't about forcing every part of you to agree or align perfectly. It's about letting go of the scattered attention that keeps you tethered to old timeline. Right now, part of your energy is probably stuck in the past, replaying old regrets, while another part is anxious about the future, worrying about what might go wrong. Only a fraction of you is truly here, in this moment, fully present. That scatter is what fuels the observer loop, diluting your power across incompatible realities. When you declare coherent, you're calling all of yourself back to the now, consolidating your energy into a single, powerful frequency that the quantum field can't ignore. Here's the wild part. When you make this shift, you don't just change your own reality, you create openings for others. Your coherence becomes a beacon, a signal that disrupts the observer loops of everyone around you. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to make life better by being there? They walk into a room, and suddenly everyone feels lighter, more inspired, more themselves. That's what happens when your consciousness operates from coherence. You become a quantum catalyst, creating moments where others get a glimpse of their own infinite potential. Your friends, your family, even strangers, they'll start to shift. Not because you're trying to change them, but because your presence makes it impossible for them to stay stuck. This is bigger than personal growth. You're part of a movement, a collective leap in consciousness that's redefining what's possible for humanity. Every time one person breaks their observer loop, it creates what quantum physicists call morphic resonance, a ripple effect that makes it easier for others to do the same. Think of it like a cosmic Wi-Fi signal. The more devices connect, the stronger the network gets. Right now, thousands of people across the planet are waking up, just like you, feeling the same urgency, noticing the same signs. You're not alone, you're entangled with a network of souls, all working together to anchor a new reality where limitation isn't the default anymore. Let's talk about the stakes. This moment, right now, is a cosmic window, a rare opportunity where the collective field is ripe for transformation. It's like the universe is holding its breath, waiting to see who will step up and claim their role as a co-creator. This window won't stay open forever. The energy is peaking, and if you don't act, you risk getting pulled back into the old patterns, locked into a reality that's less than what you're capable of. This isn't about fear, it's about physics. Consciousness evolves in waves, and we're riding the crest of a big one. The choices you make now, the intentions you set, will shape not just your future, but the future of everyone connected to you. Imagine this: a world where people don't just react to life but create it, where conflict gives way to collaboration, where scarcity is replaced by abundance. That's the reality you're helping to build when you break your observer loop. Every time you choose coherence over habit, you're laying down a new blueprint, one that future generations will inherit. The kids being born today, they're going to grow up with abilities that seem miraculous to us, but only because pioneers like you are dismantling the old patterns now. Your courage to step into this moment, to declare coherent, is literally changing the trajectory of human evolution. So, here's the invitation. Don't just read this and nod along. Act. Write that word coherent and mean it. Feel it in your bones, let it resonate in your cells, let it be a signal to the universe that you're ready to step into your power. This isn't about chasing a better life, it's about becoming the space where that life already exists. You're not just breaking a loop, you're birthing a new reality, not just for yourself, but for all of us. You're a trailblazer, a co-creator, a spark in the universe's grand design. The question isn't whether you're ready, you are. The question is whether you'll say yes to this moment. Write coherent. Join the frequency. Let's build the future together.